And this one goes out to all the fans of my singing. It's a beautiful morning. It's a beautiful day. Because it is Friday, which means it's time for previews and predictions, suckers. So let's dive right in, and we're gonna start with Tottenham versus Manchester United. I mean, I could sit here and try to razzle and dazzle you with some fancy stats, like how Spurs have won their last 13 home matches, or how United were in 6th before their 25-game unbeaten streak got snapped by Arsenal last week, and yet they are still in 6th. I mean, how does that happen? That you go 25 games unbeaten and you went from 6th to 6th. It just defies logic. But none of that matters. What matters is that this is the last game in White Hart Lane as we know it until Spurs move into something fancy and new and with no history. You can ask West Ham how well that's going. So there's just no way that Spurs are going to lose this one. No way. Especially since United played midweek in the Europa League, so I think they're going to be a little bit tired. So my prediction is going to be Spurs 2, United 1. And up next, it's Real Madrid versus Sevilla. After knocking out city rivals Atletico Madrid from the Champions League for the 4th consecutive year, poor Atleti, Los Blancos can now turn their focus on La Liga, where they can overcome their biggest rivals Barcelona at the top of the table if they win their last 3 games of the season, which would give them their first league title since 2012. So my prediction, despite Sevilla holding down 4th place, which demonstrates a pretty successful season, this isn't the unbeatable Sevilla from a few months ago, so Madrid's going to take this 3-1. And now we head to Italy for Roma versus Juventus. And my spotlight is going to be firmly focused on Roma's manager Luciano Spalletti, because I want to see if he has the balls to not play Francesco Totti in Totti's last ever game at the Stadio Olimpico, especially since Roma's top scorer Edin Dzeko is hurt, so it's not outside of the realm of possibility to insert him in this game, though I don't think he's going to start. I think Mohamed Salah will get the start. Also, since all the attention will be on Francesco Totti, we'll see if that eases any pressure on Juve, who look to close out the league as soon as possible so they can start focusing on the Coppa Italia final next week against Lazio, and then the Champions League final after that in their quest to win a historic treble this season. So my prediction is going to be Francesco Totti is going to get 10 minutes, Roma's going to score 1 goal, and Juve is going to score 1 goal. And now let's go to Argentina for Boca Juniors versus River Plate. I've been fortunate enough to go to a Super Clásico before at La Bombonera where Boca plays, and it was the best and most intense sporting event that I have ever been to. And I actually remembered that the game itself wasn't that great, but it was about everything else, the passion and the atmosphere, and if you get the chance, I highly encourage you to go to one. Anyway, with Boca currently in 1st and in the midst of a 7-game winning streak, and River in 5th but currently on a 10-game winning streak, this is going to be a great game. So my prediction is going to be Tottenham transfer target Sebastian Driussi, I hope I said that right, and Lazio and Liverpool target Lucas Solario are going to score a goal each for River, and Palermo and Bologna transfer target Dario Benedetto is going to score a brace for Boca, and it's going to end 2-2. And now we're moving on to Holland for the last day of the season in the Eredivisie, which means it's time to throw it over to Previews and Predictions Dutch correspondent Adrian from Rabona TV to see if he thinks if Feyenoord can hold off the hard-charging Ajax for the league title. Adrian?
Ajax is only behind by 1 point and will be playing away to Willem too, a team that they beat 5-0 in September and who they have outscored 19-3 in their last 6 matches. Willem have lost 5 of their last 6 and Ajax are undefeated in 48 of their last 51 Eredivisie matches and are looking hot. Feyenoord, on the other hand, haven't lost at home this season, winning 10 straight, while Heracles, who could get a European spot with a win, have won their last 2 away from home. Last time these teams played, it was a close 1-1 draw. So you take all these stats and numbers and you plug them into your Warmballer calculator, and what is the answer to the Eredivisie question? Well, Ajax is going to crush 4-1, and Feyenoord is going to manage just a draw, which means Ajax is going to steal the title back, just like they had it stolen from them last season. Jimmy, was that the right answer?
I want to say yes, you're right, because Ajax has that extra momentum of making it to the Europa League final, but Feyenoord knows that they put way too much into their season to lose it now, especially in front of their home fans. So I think they're going to do it, which means you're wrong. Also, here's what else I'll be keeping my eyes on this weekend. Like the Bundesliga battle for Europe, where 5 teams, and I'll name them in order of where they stand. You got Freiburg in 5th, then you got Hertha Berlin, and Cologne, and Werder Bremen, and Borussia Mönchengladbach, all separated by 4 points with 2 games left to go and 2 spots in Europe, so it's all up in the air. And the relegation battle in Ligue 1, where Bastia is on the bottom with 31 points, but they have a game in hand and they're taking on Lorient, who are 1 spot out of the relegation zone but in 17th on 35 points. So if you do the math, and Basha has 3 games left with that game in hand, that's 9 points on the table for them. They're only 4 points back, so it's still mathematically possible. It's not over yet. And to add to the excitement, 18th place Dijon, who are on 33 points, hosts 19th place Nancy, who are on 32 points. Whoever wins this game, whoever wins the other game, they have a realistic chance of escaping the drop, which would be crazy. This should be a pay-per-view event. And the first leg of the championship playoff, where Fulham is hosting Reading and Huddersfield is hosting Sheffield Wednesday. The second leg is midweek next week. And I'm gonna go with my gut on this one. And you guys know that my gut is never wrong, never, ever wrong. And I believe, or my gut believes, that Fulham and Sheffield Wednesday are gonna go to the final for the chance to go to the Premier League. And of course, Crystal Palace versus Hull, because if Crystal Palace loses, they could find themselves in the relegation conversation with Hull, who are currently there now and are desperately trying to get out. So both teams need to win this one. And Orlando City versus Sporting Kansas City, because one club has Kaká, who was the last Brazilian to win the Ballon d'Or, and emerging superstar Kyle Larin, and the other one is my former club, who never lose when I say they shouldn't lose. So don't lose to these Disney World loving suckers! And finally, it's the second leg of the first round of the Liga MX playoffs, and we're gonna start with the top seed, Tijuana. My Zolos, my Cholos, or whatever you guys want me to call them. Well, they dropped leg 1 1-0 to the It's Better to Be Lucky Than Good squad known as Morelia. And second seeded Monterrey got beat up by their biggest rivals, Tigres, 4-1, which deserves a huge no, mommies, because you can't lose to your biggest rivals like that. It's just unacceptable. Third seeded Chivas Guadalajara lost in their local derby against Atlas 1-0. And fourth seeded Toluca did what a higher seed should do, and they beat up on Santos Laguna 4-1. So we'll see how it plays out for everybody in leg 2. Alright, that is it, except for this. May 14th is almost upon us, and I am so excited because, and I think I'm revealing it here, the start of the Warmballers community is officially and finally upon us, and I want all of you to be part of it in any way that you can, big or small, it doesn't matter, everyone is welcome. And also, make sure you watch Spencer FC's #United take on my Warmballers FC on May 14th as well. It is going to be a massive weekend, and from what I remember, that game was pretty good. It was a fun one. You guys should watch. Okay, that's all I got. Later.